it is my privilege, as president of Golden Gate University, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the university's Board of Trustees, on this 23rd day of April in the year 2022, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining.
All right, Doctor. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Fike. There's nothing to fear. You're as good as the best, as strong as the mightiest too. You can pass any battle or test, for there's no one just like you. There's only one you in the world today, so nobody else you see can do your work in just a fine way. You're the only you to be. There's nothing to fear. You can, you will, for you're the invincible you. So class, Golden Gate University, 2021, 22. So set your foot on the highest hill. There's nothing you cannot do. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude. Attitude to me is more important than the facts, more important than the past, more important than the present. Attitude outweighs education, comes before wealth, more important than circumstances, than heartbreak, than success, than what other people think, say, or do. Attitude will make or break an organization, a company, a school, a church, an institution, an individual. The remarkable thing, Golden Gate, is that we have a choice every day regarding the attitude that we will embrace for that day. We cannot change the past, and we cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on that one string that we are given. And what is that? It is our attitude. Life is 90% of how you react. Well, there's only 2 times in life that you're ever going to feel more alone. Right before you're about to die, and 5 seconds before you're about to give a speech. Dr. Fike, there I am, and I'm listening to you give me that grand introduction, and my mind goes back. First interview I had when my book was released was the Today Show. And my publisher at that time, Random House, flew me up to One Rockefeller Center up on the 30th floor of the Today Show studios. And there I am, I'm being seated in the green room, and I'm watching guests file out on the set, and they're being interviewed by Margaret Larson, Katie Kirk, Brian Gumbel. An hour and a half goes by, and the executive producer comes in the green room and says, "Dennis, you're up next." I said, "Whoa." I get up out of my seat, I go in this room, I look in the mirror, I want to make sure that my jacket is straight, my tie is straight, my hair is combed. I want to put my best foot forward in front of all the viewers. While I'm in this room, a woman comes in, and she says, "You're the guy who wrote that book, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, that's right." She said, "How long did it take you?" I said, "It took me about 7 years." She said, "Whoa, you gotta be proud." She said, "Who's gonna interview you this morning?" I said, "Well, it might be, Brian Gumbel, Katie Couric, Margaret Larson, it'll be one of them." And then she says, "I understand that 10 million people watch the Today Show every morning." She said, "Tell me the truth, are you nervous?" I said, "What, me nervous? What would make you think that?" She says, "Because you're in the ladies' room." Well, to all the well-wishers, Dr. Fike, you and your proud staff, you got a hell of a team, my brother. To the Board of Trustees, so nice to meet you. You are certainly doing important work. To the faculty and staff, job well done. I am with you as faculty. I know what it takes. But to the graduates, hey, you did it. Hopefully, and I'm praying that you did it on time and under budget. You see, that is critically important in this day and age. To all the alums, wherever you are, in this state, in this region, wherever, I salute you also. But to the parents, I got to give a shout out to the parents, because if you are like me, I know that you're proud and your threats finally hit home. My mind goes back to one of my middle daughters. I got 3 daughters and 3 granddaughters, and I remember I was out in Norman, Oklahoma, just like Dr. Fike said. Yes, I finished my undergrad from the University of Oklahoma, and one of my 3 daughters followed in my footsteps. And if anybody has ever been out in Norman, Oklahoma come May, you know it gets powerful hot. And I did everything that I could do, me and my wife, to hang on there and watch her degree be conferred. And then I said, let me make a beeline, go to the rent-a-car sitting out in the parking lot and cut the AC on and dry my soaking wet shirt. While I'm in that car, my daughter comes running up to me and she says, Dad, what are you going to get me for graduation? I said, sweetheart, I'm going to give you 3 immeasurable gifts. She said, really? I said, yeah. I said, what's number 1? I'm going to give you some advice. I want you to keep your nose clean, put your trust in the Lord, and that's going to place you on the fast track. She said, what you going to give me for number 2? I said, I'm going to give you a copy of each of my 5 books. Yeah, you know, where I interview scores of achievers, man. I want you to read these books. I want you to highlight them, take notes in the margin, and apply them to your life. And you can't help but to succeed. And then she says, well, what are you going to get me for number 3? I said, girl, I'm going to give you the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm going to give you the chance to experience life full blast. I'm going to give you something that you haven't had to this point in your life. She says, what is it? I said, beginning right now, today, this minute, this moment, this hour, me and your mother are officially cutting you loose. I am not going to tell you her reply. No, it's time to fly. I said, girl, you just like Johnny. She said, who in the world is Johnny? I said, you know the story about Johnny. She said, no, who is Johnny? I said, 7 o'clock in the morning, mother yells up, Johnny, get up, it's time to go to school. No answer. She yells again, Johnny, if you don't get your hips up and get ready for school, still no answer. She walks up the steps, knocks on her bedroom, knocks on her son's bedroom door, no answer. Opens up the door, nudges him while he's in bed. And there's Johnny. He rolls over and says, Mom, why in the world are you waking me up? She said, you're going to be late for school. He says, I'm not going to school today. She says, why not? She said, man, I can't stand that school. I don't like that school, and nobody likes me. She says, nonsense. He said, no. She said, I was walking down the hall yesterday, and I saw a couple of teachers talking about me behind my back. And then last week, I was in the hallway, and several of the students pointed their finger at me. I hate that school, and I'm not going to that school. She says, I won't hear none of it. Get up and get ready and go to school, son. He said, Mom, why do you want to send me through all the pain and torment of going to school? She said, 2 reasons. Number 1, you're 42 years old. And number 2, you're the principal. I know the power of education, educo. And when you look at the academy, man, Socrates taught Plato and Plato taught Aristotle. And here you are, class, you gotta be ready to participate in the creator's economy. I'm gonna keep this little message short and sweet. What is the creator's economy? We have seen our country go from agricultural to industrial to technological to informational, now digital, but now it is the creator's economy, graduates. And what in the world does that mean? You create your own economy. You create your own economy, and what is necessary? And what do we know about the creator's economy? That average and excellence doesn't work anymore in the creator's economy. You gotta be extraordinary today. You gotta be phenomenal, or you will be forgotten. And the underlying pretense of the creator's economy is you gotta make a difference. There's only 4 things in life you want to do. Number 1, you want to make a difference. Number 2, you want to make a difference with somebody else who wants to make a difference. Number 3, you want to make a difference with somebody else that wants to make a difference doing something that makes a difference. But number 4, you want to make a difference with somebody else that wants to make a difference doing something that makes a difference at a time when it makes all the difference in the world, and this is the time. And what's the keynote of harmony of the creator's economy? There are 4 questions when you walk out of here with your degree in hand and you face this world. You got to be able to answer the 4 critical questions. Number 1, where have you been? I might be one of the oldest individuals in this stadium right now. Come December, I'll be 72 years old. Graduates, you're at least 21. No one in here is 16. 16 is gone. You got to be accountable and responsible for your time. What did Booker T. Washington say? The circumstances that surrounds a man's or woman's life is not important. It is how that individual responds. You got to be accountable, and you are responsible to you. The biggest mistake you will ever make in life is to think that somebody else signs your paycheck. You are CEO of your own personal company. Now you can do 2 things. You can make money or you can make excuses, but damn it, you can't do them both. What did T.D. Jakes tell me? There I am in the Potter's house in Dallas, Texas. He said, listen, he said, tears will get you sympathy, but sweat will get you change. So you can't make excuses. Number 2, why are you here? Why are you here? I mean, I was born in 1950. Why was I born in 1950? And just like Shakita, where's Shakita? Where's girlfriend? Oh, I love you, girl. Great message. Great message. I imagine you might have been born in what? 1998, 2000, whatever? There you go, 2020. Yeah, okay, there you go. Well, why was I born in 1950 and she was born well after me? Well, the world wasn't ready for you, girl. But just the fact that you were here, all the stops have been pulled out, all the lights gone from red to green. But why are you here? Well, number 1, you're here to serve. Service is the price you pay for the space that you occupy. And you need to write the formula for compensation on your mind. And what is that formula for compensation? Why you are paid. Q plus MA equals C. The quality of your service, plus the quantity of your service, plus the mental attitude in which it is rendered, always equals compensation. I don't care what you do for a living. Service is the price you pay, and everybody's got a customer. If you're a doctor, your customer is your patient. If you're a teacher, why? Your customer is your pupil. If you're a parent, your customer is your child. And you are charged with delivering better service, faster service. Be more productive and more efficient. Jerry Thompson, the founder of 7-Eleven, built 7-Eleven out of the trunk of his car. For every 3 7-Eleven stores he opened up, 2 went belly up and 2 went bankrupt. But the one that was left over exceeded industry average. And a young journalist runs up to him and says, Mr. Thompson, how in the world did you build 7-Eleven? He said, if you give the customer what he wants, when he wants it, where he wants it, and if you do it to the best of your ability, you can have all the market share that you want. What did Truett Cathy tell me more than 25 years ago when he brought me in to speak to Chick-fil-A? I said, Mr. Cathy, oh my God, you got a team together and you guys aren't even open on Sunday, but you lead the industry average per square foot in the fast food industry. How in the world do you do that selling chicken? He said, Dennis, we don't sell chicken. We sell people. You hire for attitude and you train for success. Number 3, what can you do? What can you do? Graduates, I'm telling you, you better find your area of excellence. Do you even know your area of excellence? Why did the Lord take time out of his busy schedule to blow breath into your lungs? What do you do better than anybody else? And you've got to ask your 3 questions. If you haven't found your area of excellence, I need to know why you haven't found your area of excellence. Number 1, what would you do for free? If you were never given financial reward for your service, what would you do for free? Number two, what do you love to do? What do you have a passion for? What did Steve Jobs say? What did Bill Gates say? Nothing can defeat the passionate, committed mind. Steve Harvey spoke in my class, and what did he tell my students? He said a career is what you're paid for, but a calling is what you're made for. What do you do that you just love to do? Because when you're doing what you would love to do, when you would do it for free, your work is your play. And if your work is your play, you'll never work a day in your life. What did the old rapper say? Too short, been way too long. Time for the whole world to sing my song. Henry David Thoreau. Henry David Thoreau, don't die with your music left in you. Every Tuesday and Thursday when I stand before Generation Z, look, damn it, you singing my song for the next 75 minutes. Well, what is your song? And then if you can't answer those two questions, go to somebody who you respect and admire and ask them, what do you see me as? What do you think I would be good at doing? I'm a sophomore at the University of Oklahoma. What did my fraternity brothers call me? They called me the professor. I was 18, 19 years old. Why'd they call me? Why you call me the professor? Kimbro, you always got a book under your arm. Even when you're not in class, you're in lab, you're in the library. Strong inquisition to know. To know. And then last but not least, where are you going? Where are you going? Do you even know? Napoleon Hill, the passionate, committed mind. And when you get there, where are you going? You better realize sometimes it's risky not to take a risk. Sometimes it's risky not to take a risk. There I am with Tyler Perry, and I said, Tyler, how in the world you go from sleeping in your car in New Orleans to sleeping in your car in Atlanta, Georgia, to building a $240 million production studio? What did he tell me? Nothing but the grace of God. There I am with Damon John of Shark Tank. I said, Damon, what was the high water mark in your life? He said, what do you mean high water mark, Professor? I said, when you didn't know if you were going to sink or swim. He stroked his face and he said, obviously, that had to be the time that I burnt the furniture. I said, what do you mean burn the furniture? He said, when I finally got financing from Samsung, they gave me $80,000 to go ahead and manufacture my FUBU line. All these seamstresses showed up at my mother's house, and I had no place to put their equipment. I said, so what did you do? He said, I took all the furniture of my mother's house, put it in the backyard, and set it on fire. Sometimes it's risky not to take a risk. 3 times Bill Gates had an opportunity to buy Wikipedia. And what do you know about Wikipedia? 7th largest search engine, and he didn't do it. 3 times Oakley had an opportunity to sell their sunglass line to Nike and didn't do it. 3 times Blockbuster had an opportunity to buy Netflix and didn't do it. Dr. Kimbro, what in the world are you saying? You gotta believe in yourself when no one else will. I want you to be like Sammy. Sammy is 8 years old in the 3rd grade, and he's painting a picture at his desk. And the teacher comes by and says, Sammy, what are you doing? Sammy says, I'm painting a picture of God. The teacher says, well, no one knows what God looks like. Sammy says, they will in a minute. You better believe in yourself when no one else will. But last but not least, this is your time. This is your moment. This is not the time for you to be shy. This is not the time for you to step aside. This is a time for you to take a seat at the table. This is your moment to speak up. This guy went all over the world looking for this rare, special bird. Why was this bird so special? Because this bird could speak 5 different languages. He went all over the world, didn't find it. Ironically, he found it at a pet store right around the corner from his house. Then he walks in the pet store, he tells the manager, he says, you have the bird delivered to my house, my wife will be home, I'll be at work. He comes home at the end of the day and he says, dear, did the bird come today? She says, yes. He said, well, where is it? She said, it's in the oven. He said, woman, you put that bird in the oven, don't you know that bird can speak 5 different languages? She said, well, why didn't it speak up? Somebody said it couldn't be done, but he with a chuckle replied that maybe he couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say till he tried. So he buckled right in with a trace of a grin on his face if he worried he hit it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, "Oh, you'll never do that." At least no one ever has done it. But he took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first thing we know, he begun it with a lift of his chin and a bit of a grin without any doubting or quitting. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you cannot be done. There are thousands to prophesy failure. There are thousands to point out to you one by one the dangers that wait till assail you. But with a lift of your chin and a bit of your grin, you just take off your coat and go to it. You starting to sing as you tackle the thing. Golden Gate University class of 2021-22. Parents, family, faculty, well-wishers, trustees. Obviously, in the words of Phil Knight of Nike Shoes, you just did it. Peace, power. I'm out of here.